Fantasy Football Universe, welcome to another episode of Devy Planet. I am SC Romero, my co-host Spencer at Buckwild Sports there. Today, we're going to talk about some of our freshman favorites through 3 weeks of college football, plus our Heisman candidates right now. All that and more on this week's episode of the Devy Planet.
Welcome to the Devy Planet. The Devy Planet. The Devy Planet.
Fantasy Football Universe, this is the Devy Planet. I am SC Romero at the Devy Planet with my co-host Spencer at Buckwild Sports. Spencer, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. It's a good week. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We had some good football this weekend. We had some not so good football this weekend, which you sicked on me. So we'll break that down, but it's good. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I'm trying to something happen here. Doing great. This is gonna be a phenomenal episode. I'm excited to see one, our homework, that's a big part, and then two, just going over some things we saw here as well. But I'll start with the homework, Spencer, because I had actually asked you about the Florida versus LSU game. LSU was number 3 of Florida, unranked after losing the University of South Florida. You knew before the season start, I had DJ Lagway as the QB1. Is DJ Lagway not him? Was I horribly wrong about that? Then Nuss. I mean, Nuss is another guy I had pretty high, and you were not feeling Nuss at all. So was I wrong about that one too? It really just tosses about the game. There's a freshman in there that we will end up talking about a little later. But what were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, this was a rough watch. Not if you like defense. Like, if you like defense, this was a great game, especially on that LSU side. But Lagway looked... I don't know what happened, man, because last year he was confident. Florida was winning behind him. I mean, in tough matchups, too. And this year he's locking into his target. He's, holding the ball half a second too long before releasing it. He's missing safeties. He's missing lurking linebackers. I don't know if it's the injuries that made him not prepare, if it's the injuries lingering into the season and it's kind of a mental thing for him, or if he just isn't who we thought he was. But it's not looking great right now. Our rankings came out. I dropped him precipitously. Yeah. He's down in the 40s now, whereas he was top 10 coming into the season for me. Okay. I know he was number 1 for you. It's hard to see. And on the other side, Nuss, he looks competent, but I still haven't seen a great game for him, and he's struggling with the same type of things where he's getting the ball out quick, he's reading defense as well, but he's not actually winning ball games. LSU's defense is riding it out. It's almost like the Patrick Mahomes effect in recent years, where he's not going downfield; they're just winning games on the Chiefs. Right. That's sort of what Nuss is doing. Is he's riding that defense, not making mistakes, but not making anything happen either, which, for our fantasy rosters, that concerns me, because he's not going to get anything with his legs.
Right.
So, he's definitely an NFL caliber quarterback. To me, it's always been a question. Is he going to turn the ball over too much? He looks to have cleaned that up a little bit. He still makes questionable throws in the game, but not so much that it's terribly egregious. And then, okay, he does that. Is he going to make an impact? I'm still not seeing an impactful player, so that's what worries me.
Do you think Nuss and DJ Lagway both had first-round buzz around their name before the season start? It's only been 3 weeks. There's still plenty of football to happen, right? But right now, has that first-round buzz gone away from both of them?
I think for Lagway, it definitely has. Lagway, I almost think Lagway, where we need to start looking at him as a 2028 prospect, just because he's got time. He needs to. I don't think he's a 3-and-done guy. No. So I think he's going to take that extra season, get that seasoning. He's got all the tools to come out and be a first-round guy, though. But we need to see a little better play and more consistency for me to feel good about it. Nuss, I think, is probably going to end up being a first-rounder.
Okay.
And he's tough because he doesn't have the traits you want, but with all the quarterbacks kind of collapsing around him this year, he hasn't necessarily collapsed. There was that injury report. I think a team is going to talk themselves into him in the first round. Whether he should be or shouldn't be, that's another question. I think he will be. I wouldn't do it, but that's how I feel.
Fair, fair. What about the wide receivers? Any wide receivers stand out from you in that game?
Yeah, this is where it kind of gets exciting. I think Vernell Brown looks like a very good wide receiver. I don't know if he's a special guy, but on that Florida side, he stands out from that group. He's kind of
Right.
everything we wanted Eugene Wilson to be.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting for Dallas Wilson to really make his appearance. He's coming back from that injury. He's been slowly
Right.
worked in the little bit he has. Um, Vernell Brown though looks legit. It's not just slot stuff. It's not behind the line of scrimmage. He's doing everything.
Right.
On the other side, LSU has a great group. Aaron Anderson, I do think, is the best receiver of the group. I don't think he's small.
Right, he just has a dog in him, though. Like I feel,
Yeah.
other guys, he just like you could tell in his game that he wants to go up there and get it. Where Brandon Brown and Nick Anderson don't really have that same kind of fight. But I feel like that Aaron Anderson.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen anything from Nick Anderson that's made me a believer. I wasn't much coming in, and I haven't seen anything going out so far.
Mhm.
He's
That's
a guy.
fair.
He's probably going to make the league. He's kind of like Dante Thornton. He's going to be drafted
Yeah.
because he can make a deep play.
Right.
He'll probably get some buzz because he's a good athlete. I
Right.
just don't know that he actually makes much of an impact for you. Varian
Okay.
Brown, he has so many special traits, especially as a returner. Every time he touches the ball, it's electric. But you're right.
Right.
He plays soft.
Mhm.
Aaron Anderson does not play soft. He fights through everything. He gets open. I could see him carving out similar to like a Josh Downs role where he's that high volume slot guy. This was a good watch. He is tiny. He's built kind of like a little fire hydrant. Like he's probably like 210, 5'8".
Mhm.
So, it's all muscle. He's a stocky dude. So, but that
Right.
defense, man, Weeks, look like that. He's manning that defense. You
Yes,
called
sir.
out Harold Perkins like that, but that whole defense there. I
5
think Wes
interceptions.
Weeks had a good sack here. Weeks' brother. Like it was
Mhm.
the LSU defense. It's probably the most legit defense in the country right now. I think they're genuinely national championship contenders because of the defense.
Right. Yeah, if I think if Nudge and the offense can get it together, we've talked about Caden Durham multiple times, solid running back. The offense is going to be a reason why they lose games. It's not the defense. Defense will win the championship, but that offense needs to get it together, especially in the SEC, where any game we just saw Vanderbilt beat. Was it South Carolina who Vanderbilt beat? That
Yeah,
one? Yes.
yeah.
So they, any team in the SEC can get beat. There is no top dog. This isn't the Nick Saban Alabama days anymore. Any SEC is up for grabs, including LSU that could potentially lose due to a struggling offense there. Lagway, man, I understand what you're saying. I went back to watch his interceptions, hoping that it was something on the wide receivers, but he was just throwing into coverage that wasn't a wide receiver in sight. And I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I just don't know if he was just trying to get the ball out pretty quickly. Give you both Browns. Give you both Browns for Lagway. I just don't know if there is much room for Napier. I'm hoping that's the reason why it's just been struggling. The offense hasn't looked as explosive as I thought it could be. Lagway, in my opinion, can be an explosive quarterback. They just have him confined. Vernell Brown, I think, is an explosive wide receiver as well, and he does make some big plays. But I feel they're not moving him around. They need to. Maybe if they add in Dallas Wilson, that opens it up a little bit because Dallas Wilson's more of your X type wide receiver, where Vernell can be in your slot. Maybe that changes some things. But yeah, right now it's just hard to even watch this Florida team. I'll continue. I'm a fan of Florida. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching Lagway play. But man, this was a tough one. And every time he threw an interception, it's like I want to turn off the TV. I'm not someone that's going to break my TV, but I thought about it. It's just it was that type of game where it was rough to watch for sure. And Florida has a lot to do. UCF loss was huge. LSU was huge, and they don't have an easy schedule. I don't necessarily think anyone thought they would win the SEC, but we definitely had hope that Lagway would do something more than what he has done within the first 3 weeks. Still a lot of football left, so we'll see how both these teams play out. You had some homework for me as well, though.
Yeah, so I gave you a more fun game, I think, to watch. A little less demoralizing, but not necessarily who we asked. So I had you on Clemson v. Georgia Tech, and the main question was, is Cade Klubnik back to being a pumpkin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Short answer, yes. That main question, man, it's just it really looks like Kate Klubnik is back to that 2023 self. In 2024, we saw the progression. It got us excited. And when I say us, I say multiple people within the community. It got you excited to be like, Clemson's about to be this high-powered offense that does some tremendous things with Kate Klubnik and his wide receiver core alone. It's not really the case. They've been struggling. There's really been one wide receiver that's been obviously Antonio Williams has been made up. Maybe that's the difference maker. Wesco has stepped up. CJ Moore, you'd ask me if he was a fast fade. Yeah, I mean he really is. And maybe I need to go back and watch the Toy too to see if even Klubnik is looking in his direction. But it looks like he's just not getting that separation. More is, and Wesco is trying to do that, make some plays happen. But yeah, I just feel like it's kind of like that Spencer Rattler, where like Spencer Rattler never got to the pinnacle that Clay Klubnik did last year at Clemson. Spencer Rattler just kind of became that 2023 self of Klubnik and just kind of stagnant. Like it wasn't bad, but wasn't great or good. So you didn't really know what to do with him. Right now, that's where Klubnik is. Where last year was great. It was like, man, this is you're about to blow last season out of the water. So far, he hasn't been able to do that so much enough that the quarterback on the opposing side and Haynes King outperformed him enough that he gave Georgia Tech the victory. Um, I know that was you know something you asked me as well versus Haynes and Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. Haynes King, we definitely need to talk about him a lot more. As far as NFL talent, I don't think he's necessarily gonna be like a full season starter.
Yeah.
He'll get drafted, and he's gonna go into the games where you're gonna be like, damn, I wish I would have started him. And then you're not going. The week you're gonna start him, it's gonna be he's not gonna start anymore or something. But he is tough. He has that grit. I'm pretty sure it was him that talked about that. His dad had said he was never strong enough to play or something like that. So he continued to grind, continue to just do everything he can to make that work ethic and be a strong football player. He slows down every time he has the ball. If he's not passing, he's running. He's not easy to tackle as well. He's going to try to use his strength to get through you on that and make some big plays as well. So that's what makes him electric and a little more exciting. Georgia Tech's a nice team, and I think they're definitely overlooked in the ACC when it comes to it, but they're definitely a nice team, and I can see Haynes really doing it. As far as Jamal Haynes, if you liked RJ Harvey, you need to like Jamal Haynes. In my opinion, I think Jamal Haynes is a little bit more electric. I think Jamal Haynes can do a little bit more than what RJ Harvey did. There was so much buzz around RJ Harvey. That buzz better be around Jamal Haynes when the time's ready for him as well, because he is that type of player. He could go out there and make plays in the backfield. He could make plays in your pass catches as well. He's electric when he gets the ball in his hands. He's making defenders miss in the open field. He has the speed. We need to be talking more about Jamal Haynes as just a trusted back that he's not going to be a workhorse. I don't know if that size will allow to, but he will be a solid change of pace back that can make a difference for a team and for your fantasy teams, because I think there is a realm where he gets 12 touches a game and probably 2 or 3 receptions, and you'll enjoy that. It's not necessarily true workhorse wise, but you're still going to enjoy it because of what he can do every time that he touches the ball and just gets those yards after contact as well.
Yeah, no, I like what you said about Haynes, both of them. Um,
Yeah,
no,
for sure.
and Haynes King has got that dog in him. It was fun to watch him play because he just, as you said, like he's just going. He wanted this win more than Clemson did, and
Right.
that was the difference.
Mhm.
Bryant Wesco though. I mean, we got to. I mean, how high are you moving him up? Because this was another great game.
Mhm.
He was your flag plant this year, so you got to be
Yeah.
feeling good about that.
No, 100%. I mean, so before the season started, I talked about Nick Mars has potential to be into the top 3 of the 2027 class. Kicking Ryan Williams out was my thing. So I have Coleman at 2. I moved Wesco ahead of him. Wesco's now my wide receiver 4 of that class behind Williams, Kim Coleman, and Jeremiah. Not that Nick Mars is doing anything bad, but Wesco really has stepped up to take on that alpha role, and I feel he definitely can be, and I think he's definitely gonna still elevate the team, you know. And this is one of those things where Clemson might crumble. We're seeing it happen where it just doesn't look like that excitement is necessary there. Like I don't know what like Klubnik
Yeah,
looked great last year. You just don't see that same energy, and that
yeah,
could be the difference maker. Where with Bryant Wesco though, this is going to be something I'm going to say. Don't look at what the record may be at the end of the season, but look at what he's doing on the field. Even when he's not getting the targets, look at what he's doing on the field, because he is definitely going out there and giving it his all, 110% each time he's on the field. He's definitely someone that can raise in your ranks of overall, just in general, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. The running backs, um, Clemson needs help at the running back position. We'll just say that. Gideon Davidson hasn't got the looks we want him to. They need help with that. Maybe that's a turning point too if they develop a solid run game that turns around everything. But so far has not been there at all. So very, very hard to tell. When it comes to like Klubnik, Nuss, and Lagway, all of them have been major disappointments as far as the first 3 weeks. Again, lots of football to play, but right now, I mean, we're doing a mock right now with our guys at Devy Dojo, and they both dropped. I think Klubnik's still on the board, and we're in round 3, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things changing around, and that's the thing, the Devy landscape. Granted, when it comes to draft time, we're watching the full years, not just the one season. We're watching their entire collegiate career. But right now, based on this season, it looks like it's going to be a rough one for all 3 of these quarterbacks. Luckily, Nuss has the defense to back him up, so he might still get the wins, but it's still gonna be a rough season for him. But speaking of that, these guys have struggled as far as these guys that we are talking about outside of what Haynes King. We talked about Verno Brown looking good, Aaron Anderson as well, Jamal Haynes. Those guys look good, but some of these guys have struggled. We're gonna talk about our freshman favorites. Some guys that through 3 weeks of football, freshmen that came in and really started to make a name for themselves, and we're excited to see what they're gonna do moving forward, not only this season but for their collegiate career. So we'll start off with our quarterbacks here. First, we Cal quarterback Jaron Kiwi Sagabutelli. 67% completion, 780 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. This guy's looking nice. I definitely want to see him push the ball further down the field. I don't know if that's him not wanting to or just the lack of the wide receivers just around him. But 3 big time throws so far, which means over 20 yards there for you. 9.2 ADOT. So he's not really hitting that first down mark, but he's still doing okay. And he's throwing the ball out pretty quickly. But if you watched him in high school, this is the player he is and the player he was gonna be. I definitely want to see the arm strength develop more for him to be able to push it out. But he is a player that you should be watching out for and moving forward as well. I think so on my last show for the DVD gens there, they asked us if we would trade Lagway for Sagabutelli straight up. I can't do that right now.
Mhm.
I know there's a world where people would. I love JKS, but it's just I don't want to drop that. I had him as QB1, right? He's dropping there, but at the same time, I don't want to. At that point, JKS could be something special. It could be the freshman vibes. We've seen it tons of times. Freshmen look great and then they slump. So I still want to see more. I would try to buy him, but I don't know if I'm paying Lagway for him. What are your thoughts on JKS?
Yeah, I mean, he's looked awesome. It is funny with JKS because again, we talked before in the preseason. He left Oregon because he felt like he wasn't going to get on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't. Dante Moore, we'll talk about him later, but he's been incredible for Oregon, everything they wanted. But JKS was ready to take the college field, and that much has been clear. I mean, the Lagway question is interesting because this is one I've been hearing it a lot. Like this seems to be the trade.
Yeah,
I think I probably lean on the JKS side slightly, but I feel like if I had Lagway, I wouldn't want to do that.
you have to get a plus. Like you're selling low at that point, and yeah, it's.
But it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
But it's great for JKS. So focusing on the positives, the fact that we're even talking about a freshman quarterback being compared to a guy who was reasonably QB1 going into the year, I mean, arguably Devy1, is great because that means he can keep rising. Cal, they don't have much around him.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he transfers out after this year. I don't know if with the one transfer, if he can do that right after, or if he needs to stay at Cal another year. The transfer rules are always changing and always ambiguous, and honestly, there's not a lot of clarity to them. But
I think he'll be able to because it was before the season started.
Yeah,
so I think he should be able to enter there as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if he moves up into a Big Ten or an SEC program. But even if he stays, he's looking great so far. So this is, I do really like him. I think that he's definitely in that Devy conversation.
Yeah, I think, like I said, definitely a buy. I don't know if I'm paying the price of Lagway, but I mean, I might play Klubnik just because, like Klubnik,
Oh,
we've
I
seen
definitely
it.
would. Yeah,
You
I
know, like
definitely would.
we seen that with Klubnik, where at this point, Klubnik needs to show he was the best quarterback in the nation. He has not done that. And that way, at that point, it's like JKS. I'll take that bullet and ride with him for 3-4 years, whatever it is that he stays in college, and then Klubnik let him go do his thing in the NFL and all whatever on that. But DJ Lagway, I think there's still progression. I do think, like I said, with coaching. So there could be opportunity for new coach to come in, open up the playbook a little bit more, and thus we see further from Lagway. But JKS does look great. I'll be curious to see if he transfers out as well. It'll be interesting to see. But right now, he's looking phenomenal there at Cal. Now we're gonna go on the whole opposite side of the coast, on your East Coast here. Talk about our next freshman quarterback, though. Maryland quarterback Malik Washington, 62% completion, 773 yards, 6 touchdowns as well with 1 interception. Also has 1 rushing touchdown. A little bit more trying to push the ball down the field. He does have that strength. Dove has the arm talent. He is going there with 8.1 8 up, but 7 big time throws as well. Also getting the ball out rather quickly as well. 2.6 8 time to throw there. What are your thoughts on Malik Washington?
Yeah, I really like Malik Washington. Coming into the year, this was when I didn't plant my flag on him, but I was like soft buy-in. I had him in my top 50, which felt a little bold for a guy who wasn't ranked, and he had me nervous. And he's playing his mind out. It's been great. So he has looked less impressive than JKS. So it's not quite there. Like he's definitely making a little, few too many freshman mistakes sometimes. He's not paying for them necessarily, but he's got, I think, better raw tools. Like he's a fast runner. He's a big kid. He's got a huge arm. So I could see him really rising up. He just needs to work on a consistency, which again, for a true freshman starting in the Big Ten, that he's going to have his hiccups. It's not like, oh no, I'm really worried about him. It's just he looks like he's a very good college, Devy quarterback, good prospect, and definitely one I want to keep an eye on. He's had a great start here, though.
I think what he's doing right now is what we thought Bryce Underwood would start doing, but Bryce Underwood luckily has a solid run game with Justin Haynes, but still nice to see him. If you look at freshman quarterbacks, you could definitely buy Malik Washington, probably a little bit cheaper than what you can JKS, and still have a valued asset. The downfall is you hope he doesn't turn into Malik Willis, who had a big time arm, had some running capability, but really didn't do much at the NFL level. Malik Washington has some good size to him, so there is hope there for him to actually go out there and make some big plays in the further as well. And I'm glad Maryland has a quarterback. Tagovailoa, Tua's brother, was there a year prior. It's just like it just wasn't clicking as well what it is with Malik Washington there. But let's move on to our running backs here. The first one, Ohio State running back Bo Jackson, actually taking over it and being dominant really for the first 3 weeks here. 217 yards, 12.1 yards per carry, 163 yards after contact, 1 touchdown, and his longest was a 64-yard scamper down the field. What are your thoughts on Bo Jackson?
Bo Jackson's the best running back in Ohio State right now. Which it would have sounded much bolder last year than this year, but he looks. We were excited about him coming into the year, and he looks the part. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's making the right decision. He's kind of doing everything James Peoples isn't doing right now. So I think he's going to ultimately take that James Peoples roles, and I think he's earned himself regular spots in this backfield with the limited time he got.
Right.
Most impressive is we didn't see this happen until he didn't play the first game against Texas. It was, and for the record, this is from our guys at the Devy Dojo. His real name is Lamar, so he's Lamar Bo Jackson. That name can't not succeed.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
So I really like the kid. I think he's a very talented guy, and I think he's someone, if you can still trade to get him, I'd pretty much trade almost anyone that I have. Outside of probably the top 10 running backs, I'd go get him for.
I mean,
him or Nick Singleton.
That was a good one. I guess that'll depend on roster build. Mm-hmm. If we're talking Devy, right? So I think Bo Jackson offers more right now as that true freshman. Well, Singleton did too. I'd have to go Singleton right now.
Hmm.
But you said top 10. I think there's people we could talk about. Amir saying no. Singleton, would you trade Darius Taylor for him?
Oh, I would trade Darius Taylor for him in a heartbeat.
You know,
Yeah,
who else are we talking? Top 10. Taylor. Um, I'm spacing on it. Obviously, Makai Hughes. If anyone wants to do that, let's do it.
yeah.
Um,
If they're sleeping,
who am I
um,
missing as someone else hyped up? Darius Taylor, Nick Singleton. Oh, Jeremiah Love.
I'd probably hold Love, but that's close.
Oh, Amir saying Bo over Singleton.
Yeah, I, so
Yeah,
I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable line. It's a tough. It depends on the roster build. If you want a running back next year,
yeah,
take Singleton, but Singleton hasn't looked great so far. So if you can,
true. The
um,
Singleton is he again? He's someone that already shown he could be productive in a timeshare.
mhm,
Jackson, he's gonna run away with it and be the guy. So is it gonna be? He needs to be a workhorse. Like last year, we did see Quinshon and Travion both, so they can be that timeshare and still be efficient as well. I think it does get harder. I think Taylor, I would Singleton. I think that's fair, and I don't think you get a plus. Like I don't think you get more on top of Bo for
no,
Singleton, but I don't know if I necessarily get more on top of Singleton to get Bo. So I think it had to be those are like a wash almost, where I'd want more to that trade to actually go through with it. But I think that's reasonable if people are trying to do that. I mean, I think people would both ways. I think people be excited to get Singleton,
yeah,
and some get excited to get Bo. So you can definitely find a win-win there for sure.
yeah, that's true.
JKS. Are you asking if we would trade Bo for JKS, Amir? Let's go to our next running back, though. Oklahoma running back Tory Blaylock, 5.4 yards per carry, 168 yards, 98 after contact, 3 touchdowns, his longest 2020 or 25 yards, not 2025. That'd be crazy. But he's definitely out there doing some things, and really, Makai Hughes obviously dropping down. Another one that was a big time recruiter, big time transfer was Jaden Ott.
Yeah,
Transferred from Cal, who we talked about JKS, transferred from Cal over to Oklahoma. Tory Blaylock's really been their guy where Jaden Ott has not been as well. What are your thoughts on Tory Blaylock?
yeah. So Tory Blaylock is I really liked him. So okay, so Amir was asking Bo or JKS. I
Uh,
lean JKS just because quarterbacks are harder to get.
yeah, I would say
But
JKS over there. I think if Bo and JKS are both QB1, RB1, the QB1's always got more value. So
yeah,
I would lean that way to gain the more value there out of it. But you're still Bo's good. So I'm not
yeah,
necessarily mad, but yeah, just the
yeah.
QBs have more value.
Yeah, but on Blaylock, Oklahoma had this, they had Jaden Knott coming in. We had, we really liked Taylor Tatum from
Mm-hmm.
last year, who was the, true freshman last year, got some
Mm-hmm.
production. And Torrey Blaylock has sort of risen to the top of this running back room. Most of it has come in late games, blowouts that they're winning. But
Mm-hmm.
he got some run against Michigan. He didn't do much with it. He's involved in this backfield as a true freshman with these names that everyone, we were all kind of excited about seeing what they
Right,
can do.
right,
So, it's been a lot of yards after contact. He hasn't shown a kind of an explosive quality to his game yet,
right.
but he's making the right decision. He's putting his foot where it needs to go. And, I think that can go a long way. There's not a lot of running backs in college right now that we're super duper excited about, as you can
Mm-hmm.
kind of tell from our Bo Jackson conversation, where
Yeah.
it's like we were able to go right to the top with him showing out for 2 games.
Yeah.
So the Blaylock is somebody I think we need to have on our radars to see if he keeps this up, especially against tougher competition. But do you have any thoughts kind of on what you want to see from him, or any way you can see him fixing?
Um, the benefit with Blaylock is John Mateer. We'll talk about him more later as well. Is a solid running quarterback as well. So it's definitely easing some pressure off for him when they're on the field. And it's simply gonna be that Blaylock is gonna be able to lean on Mateer to kind of get eyes off of him and make those big plays. I want to see him get more work. It's earlier during the beginning of the season. A lot of your games are out of the conference, so obviously they did play Michigan, but I want to see more from as the team goes on to play in the SEC and what's he going to do against SEC competition as well. That's going to be a big factor. Actually, they play Auburn this week, I do believe.
Yeah,
Uh, first SEC matchup for Oklahoma. So I'm excited to see what John Machir can do, what Blaylock can do, what Deion Burks is looking like. I know Deion Burks has been resurrected in a sense with Machir. So I'm excited to see what they can do. But right now, running away with that, I was never the biggest fan of Jaden Ott as far as runner. Like Jaden Ott just seemed like a bruiser, but nothing. He was like Cam Scalaboo without the electric speed of Cam Scalaboo, if that makes sense. So I didn't really see a lot in Jaden Ott at that next level. I thought he'd just be like a good RB3, possibly RB2 of a team, and he'd go in there and get you a touchdown or 10 yards, whatever, but nothing explosive. So I didn't expect him to necessarily be their guy. I thought he would just because the experience. So it is excited to see Blaylock go in as a freshman and really take it over and become one of their guys there as well. So I want to see more from him moving forward and really take over the reins of this. It's just me. Like no one else is going to touch it. It's just me moving forward as well.
Yeah.
Now, as far as wide receivers, this is the one we have the most of here. So let's get into it. First being Miami's wide receiver, Malachi Toney. Someone that we didn't talk much about, prior to the season, but 18 receptions on 23 targets. That's 78.3% completion when targeted there. 228 yards, a touchdown, 120 yards after the catch. Yeah, same. Exactly. I thought that was a wasteful transfer from out there, Amir. But Malachi Toney seemed like he's one of the top targets for Carson Beck in that Hurricane offense, doing some big things and doing it, once the ball's in his hands. He's not just waiting and getting tackled like we have talked about some wide receivers like Ryan Ringo that does do that, right? So what are your thoughts on Malachi Toney?
Yeah, Toney has, it's kind of been an out of nowhere experience for Toney where I don't think anyone really, he was talked about like, oh, maybe he'll make, get some catches, maybe he'll get some stuff done, but he wasn't supposed to be like the best freshman wide receiver at all. And he's broken out in a big way. He's made some really impressive special catches. Mm-hmm. Then he's also doing those little things to get open, be a reliable target for Beck. He's really been the one. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like all the hype coming out of camp was the other freshman, Joshua Moore, who finally got involved this last weekend, but hasn't been nearly the same level as Toney. So it's been awesome. Like I've vaunted him pretty high up into the ranks now. Like he's in our top 50.
Yeah.
Our combined, because I think, we both put him in there towards the end, or, mm-hmm. He just missed for you. I don't remember exactly what it is, but he snuck in.
Right.
Which I don't think if you had given me 100 predictions, I never would. His name wouldn't have come up before this season, to be honest. So it's been awesome to see.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that, what he's doing is what we wanted Josiah Trader to do last year, and Josiah Trader's really been the ghost there, where Malachi Toney's actually taking that role and then being one of the top guys, as you said, for Carson Beck. So Beck resurrecting guys there, which is awesome to see as well. The next one, another guy where we were talking about other freshmen ahead of him, and he's over here doing it. Texas wide receiver Parker Livingstone. 8 receptions on 12 targets, 198 yards, 66.7% completion, 3 touchdowns, 92 yards after the catch. What are your thoughts on Livingstone?
Yeah, it's interesting because the numbers are prolific, and he's the only thing that's really working for Arch Manning when he's out there.
Right.
Which, why that is, couldn't tell you. He's a big kid. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. He's making big plays downfield, but he never, like when you're watching him play, he doesn't look super fast.
Right.
But he's breaking these 40, 50-yard downfield, the wide open plays.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's like he's great at manipulating the zone, if he is just beating his man, if he's maybe he is faster than we thought he was, but he's doing something to get open, and Archer's finding him in a big way. So the fact that he was able to pass Lockett, pass French in the depth chart, I think speaks really highly.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I think it speaks really highly of his ability, and there's still, DeAndre Moore is still there. He's been hurt. Emmett Mosley hasn't seen the field. He's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Ryan Wingo. It's come on.
Billy Mike back at it again. Drake May, Stephon Diggs officially Bengals. There you go. The trade of the day. 2 firsts. When
are you finally gonna give someone to the Giants? I need good news.
Breaking news.
No, so it's been great to see Livingstone. Do you have any? Do you differ? Do you think he could be that like ascended talent?
Not ascended. He says Gob.
Yeah,
let's
Job.
Job. Let me say, you hit a spot there where you're saying he's getting open and finding like the soft spots in coverage. That's exactly what he's doing because he's not necessarily getting much with it once the ball is in his hands. He is getting tackled very quickly. There are a few breakaways that he does, but I don't think he's necessarily someone that he's gonna beat every single defender. He is nice in what he's doing, um, and I think that's a testament. One Wingo hasn't done a damn thing. Like Wingo's been the
Yeah.
guy that has it, so it's just kind of like, all right, well, if Wingo's not here, you're the other guy on the field. We're gonna make it happen, and he is more lengthier. He is more strength wise. So go up there and get the catch for you as well. And I think that's something Arch kind of migrates to, but he hasn't been someone that has it impressed in the sense of what he's doing after the catch. I want to see more agility from him. I see the speed, I see the hands. I want to see more edge on this in the open field, right? Because I do think he's one of those wide receivers where he will get tackled in the open field. He's not breaking anyone with jukes or spins, right, like that. He's gonna try to just use his speed to get there, and a lot of times that's not gonna work. So I do want to see more open field elusiveness from him. But other than that, I mean, he's doing everything he needs to. But what you also said, DeAndre Moore, Emmett Mosley, where these guys fit in, it are Jamie French and Malik Lockett. Well, that's not the right name.
Khalid Lockett.
Khalid
Yeah.
Lockett, Malik Lockett, Khalid Lockett. Excuse me. Are they gonna migrate into the offense? It's gonna be interesting because Baxter went down. We know Trey Wisner went
Yeah.
down a few weeks ago. I know Wisner, I think, is questionable now. What's this run game going to look like? Are they going to bring in their freshman and James Simon? That's going to be one of their guys, or is it going to be a committee type of approach? They may need to rely more on this pass, so we may finally see Arch actually open up a little bit further. This could be a big time for Parker Livingstone, or for one of these other guys to finally step up and do it. But right now, Parker Livingstone is leading the way as far as what it looks like the best wide receiver in Texas. That's crazy to say because, again, before season, we weren't talking about it. And I don't think many people were. But there was because they had other higher recruits on the freshman portal that they were getting at. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does moving forward. But there is opportunity for him to go out there and have a big season, especially with the connection he's having with Arch there as well. Now, our next guy, we kind of hit on him momentarily. Vernell Brown, Florida wide receiver, 16 receptions, 22 targets, 197 yards, 72.7% completion, 89 yak. He got on the map when he hit his Odell Beckham catch.
Yeah.
Love it over here. When he did, his lean back kind of catch there. What are your thoughts on Vernell? I know you kind of hit on it.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief because I hit on it earlier. But I mean, I think he's a really good wide receiver. He reminds me, like, it's. I actually don't even know really like who he reminds me of. It's hard to place because he doesn't look like an elite guy.
I don't know what that
Um,
second emoji is, Amir. There is that
so
Batman.
a wink and a ninja with his mind exploding.
Yeah.
Um, no, no, like, but he looks like a very good receiver. Kind of like Makai Lemon, I guess, would be
Okay.
sort of like if you're looking for the comp, like that's sort
Dylan.
of what he's got is that just very good, solid receiver. Which coming in as a true freshman is hard to sort of it's not something you expect. You expect somebody to be
Right.
special in certain areas, or you expect them to be limited but stand out where they're limited. He's sort of doing everything for Florida, so that's what I
Right.
really like. He's not getting limited or throttled in any way.
Right. Yeah, I think I will see them moving around a lot more. He's playing more outside, and I think that's a factor because they don't have, Dallas Wilson on the field.
Mhm.
I want to see him more in the slot because I think that's where he will shine. I think he is going to be someone that could be that slot merchant, just kind of open up the field in the middle and allow your wide receivers outside to get more plays outside as well, or even open up the run lanes. But I think I like what I'm seeing so far. I just feel, and again, we're gonna go back to Napier. There is so much in this offense. I feel like with Florida, where they are not using the talent that they have to its max potential. Like right now, it just seems limited. Um, and Verno Brown could definitely be someone that just explodes on all our rosters as far as a breakout guy. Because if you're able to move him around, again, I don't see him as truly like an X. Again, I mean that's where they're using him on the outside more, and not close. It's not like it's separated with him in the slot. It's like they're using him outside without using him in the slot, and I want to see more because I think that's just going to be something special for him. He has the speed, he has the agility. What Parker Livingstone doesn't have, that's what Vernell has. The difference that Parker Livingstone has the size. Vernell Brown doesn't necessarily have the same size there, so that's where it kind of differs a little bit. But he is an electric player. I think there can be more for him moving forward. I really want to see what Dallas Wilson does. As you know, that was my number 2 wide receiver, ahead of or behind Jamie French there, the freshman class. So I'm curious on what happens when he's on the field, if he sees the field. I don't know what's happening with his injury. If he ends up seeing the field to the full potential, they actually play him in. What's that going to be happening with him and Vernell? Because I think that could be very talented. And again, just open up the offense, and you have players that can do it. So I'm excited to see that. On the flip side, speaking of opening up the offense, another freshman wide receiver that got a lot of hype for many people. Wide receiver, one of the freshman class, Oregon wide receiver Decorian Moore, 9 receptions, 12 targets, 144 yards, a touchdown, a rushing touchdown, which I think was like a 25-yard rushing touchdown, 75% completion, and 65 yak. So he's not necessarily getting much after the catch there, but Decorian Moore is someone they are moving them around as well. What are your thoughts on DK Moore?
Yeah, he's flowed right into this offense perfectly. I mean, he looks like the best player in your room. It's Oregon's been funny because about 10% of the way through the game they've won the game for the most part. So like I don't think we've actually seen 100% what they want to do on offense.
Yeah.
This is not, for the record, an endorsement of Mekhi Hughes.
I'll say hold Mekhi Hughes.
Yeah, no, this is
hold
not
him because you can't
Hughes.
sell him. Yeah, I mean, if you want to drop him, go ahead, but you can't sell him.
Yeah. But I think Decorian Moore is going to be much more involved as the offense kind of opens up for Oregon because he looks like the best player on the field. I think that he's taken time to now get into the offense, adjust to college speed, and now we're going to see those targets go up from, he's got 12 targets. I think that if they were playing real competition, he'd have closer to that 20 to 25 range. He's just, by the end of the game, he's just been not playing because they've won.
Right.
So, they've already lost Evan Stewart this year. Why, and Christian Dickey is still away from the team. It's so
he's off. Yeah,
he's off. So why risk your other receiver? So we're gonna see it open up. Any thoughts here on your boy?
No, DK's look great. The benefit, as we're talking about, Florida needs to open up the offense. Oregon has they haven't fully opened their playbook, but their offense is open in the sense that there is no one star talent. I love DK Moore and what he's doing there, and he could be considered the alpha of the team just on his speed and his actual athleticism. But Gary Bryant Jr. is getting some solid looks. You have Justice Lowe getting some solid looks. Sadiq's getting okay looks. Everyone's getting involved is my point. Their offense is in the sense where Dante Moore, again, we'll talk about him a little later, is feeding everybody. It's not one person specifically getting many targets throughout the game. Everyone's getting solid looks. And from a fan perspective, on CFF at least, that hurts because so far no one's going off to say oh, this is the guy you need to have on your team. For Devy perspective, Corey Moore's looking great, and you want to have him on your team. The other guys, Gary Bryant, Justice Lowe, it's I don't know about Devy, but CFF, sure, because you likely one of these Oregon, two out of three of the Oregon wide receivers, if not all three, are getting a touchdown in the games, and that's just the way Dante Moore is able to move the ball and get around the field, scanning the field directly. So, absolutely love it. Decorian Moore has sold his speed multiple times, as I mentioned. I think it was a 25-yard rushing touchdown. Got him the ball in the backfield, sold off his speed and got it through. Has been able to show it in his routes. His quick twitch, all that good stuff that we saw on tape is actually transitioning. He is that type of player. He is the real deal. It's going to be exciting to see what they end up doing moving forward as far as having him as a true number one there. McClellan, appreciate Lamir. Jeremiah McClellan, the guy that I was talking about prior to the season, absolutely looks great
Benson
as well.
Also, it's
Malik Benson as well.
Yeah, everybody's getting involved except for Mekhi Hughes.
The hate for Mekhi Hughes,
it's not hate, it's sadness. It's I'm lashing out because I'm hurt.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, and I mean, speaking of that, we didn't add the Oregon freshman running backs on there, but on Mekhi Hughes thing, Jordan Davis and De'Ara Hill have both beat him out, and it's gonna be interesting because Noah Whittington's probably out. They started Jaden Lamar last week. is they could be Lamar and Deere. Like it's just mind boggling. I know landing has its way. Like you gotta prove it. It's just so much to me where it's like we saw it in Tulane on what
Mhm.
Makai Hughes. What didn't we see? Like what's happening in practice that's pushed him down this chart? And maybe they're just waiting. Maybe they're just like we had this monster. We're gonna unleash him. That's the hope. That's why I say hold him because you can't trade him, as I said. So you're not, I wouldn't say drop him if you have to, sure. But if you have the roster spot, you can hold him. I would say hold it because there may be, but I'm not here to give you that advice if it goes wrong.
Makai Hughes or Cade Klubnik?
I mean, you got Klubnik's doing something like Makai Hughes
Okay.
or Jaden Knott.
Uh, neither. Makai Hughes. But
See,
to Amir's question earlier, that the answer in Klubnik right there. That's why you hold JKS over Bo Jackson
yeah,
to tie it
exactly.
all back to our freshman.
Yeah,
Um,
no, for sure, and I agree. Like your quarterbacks will always have more value. We talked about
yeah.
Klubnik. I mean, even if Clemson doesn't win the ACC, Klubnik could still go in the first round because again, when it comes down to it, no matter we're talking about these guys on the season at hand and what they're doing and how they've impressed. But these are freshmen. When it's all said and done, we're going to look at their collegiate career. We're not just looking at their freshman tape, their sophomore tape, junior or senior. We're looking at it as a whole when it comes to their draft class and where we rank them as far as their draft rankings. Klubnik has shown he can be a good quarterback. Thing is, he's not showing it right now, and that's hurting his stock in a sense. But when it's all said and done, he's still probably going to be. I mean, people still talk about Drew Aller as a first round talent, and he's done worse than Klubnik as far as what he's showing. So there's still value there, especially for your quarterbacks. I mean, look at the running backs in the NFL. They're not getting drafted first round. Not everyone's Bijan or Genty. You're not going to be able to do that. So, our last freshman wide receiver, though, SMU wide receiver Jalen Cooper, 12 receptions, 18 targets, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, 67% completion when targeted, 78 yards after the catch. What are your thoughts on Jalen Cooper? Because he's been rising too.
Yeah, he's been another surprise kind of like pop, I should say. It's he's 6'2", 180, so the right size that you're kind of looking for. He's played a big role for SMU early, especially you don't really think of SMU as having an explosive big offense. They just always seem to be a good team.
Right.
He's been their out wide guy who's he's making plays happen. He's pretty consistently doing well. This last week he had two contested catches on 4 opportunities there. Like that was his first contested opportunity, and he held up.
Mm-hmm.
He made big plays. Like he's just been kind of popping, and I think he's a guy we need to keep on our radar because if he has a great freshman season, he's going to check a lot of the analytical boxes for come draft time. So he's someone I think you need to keep an eye on and see if he keeps this up.
Yeah, he's definitely been involved in the offense. You love to see him and Kevin Jennings collecting there. And he seems like it seems like week one, he had his role right, 5 receptions, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Week two, he caught his touchdown, 89 yards, had a big scamper for 75 for the touchdown there as well. And then this past week, 5 receptions, 68 yards. He's definitely involved in offense. They're definitely going to continue to use him moving forward. And it's going to be exciting because it seems like they're slowly using him, but also developing them at the same time. So I'm excited to see what his growth can do because he can definitely get down the field in a hurry. But as you mentioned, that strength, he has good size. Well, he's like 6'2". I think he's
Mhm.
80 or so, but still that's a solid wide receiver build. So it's nice to see him go out there, and I'm excited to see what he can do there as well. Just moving forward, SMU always produces some type of player, whether it be a running back, quarterback, wide receiver, defensive players.
Yeah.
SMU does produce some nice prospects, so I'm excited to see if he could be the next big guy we're talking about over the coming years for SMU, or if he ends up transferring.
Yeah.
But those were our freshmen here again. Quarterback Jaren Kiwi Sagabutelli out of Cal, Malik Washington out of Maryland, Bo Jackson running back out of Ohio State, Torrey Blaylock Oklahoma running back, and then our wide receivers Malachi Toley out of Miami, Parker Livingstone out of Texas, Vernell Brown out of Florida, Decorian Moore out of Oregon, and Jalen Cooper out of SMU. Now, before we get into our homework for the week, let's talk about the Heisman. Tis the time where we can start talking Heisman, our Heisman candidates. So we both have our top five. We actually differ. We have three guys in the
Yeah.
same, so we have two separate here. But Spencer, I'll let you say who your number one is because surprisingly, it's not mine. But who is your number one?
Yeah, I think he's not yours because you're trying to avoid homerism. We got Dante Moore at number one for me. I think he's done everything you want to. Oregon has been, they haven't faced anyone tough, but they've been
Right.
just dominant out the gate, and it's largely been on him.
Right.
Kind of keeping that offense in rhythm. He's looked great. He'll get some true tests coming up, the Penn State game in particular.
Mhm.
But he's my number one. Who's your number one?
Well, my number one is actually John Mateer, and reason why is we talk about competition. They blew out Oklahoma State. I thought that was gonna be competitive, or somewhat. They blew out Dante Moore did. John Mateer looked great against Michigan, and he has really changed over what the Oklahoma offense looked like. I think that's why I have him slightly ahead. Dante Moore and John Mateer are really tied. Difference is John Mateer to me has kind of changed over the Oklahoma program. Oregon was good regardless, right? I think if there wasn't, but Dante Moore looks nice. I think the offense looks better. It looks more energetic. It looks more fast, more electric with Dante Moore at the helm. So he is my number two. We have him flop because you have Mateer at your number two. So those two guys, it could go either way. Either way, I feel they should be the top of the Heisman race right now because of what they're doing as far as the quarterback position and what they're doing for their team. Both their teams look better when they're at the helm, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
no, fully
number
agree.
number three. This is where we get interesting because you have a guy that's prototypical size. I have a guy that's not as much, but let's talk to you. Who's your number three?
Yeah, I'm surprised that he isn't on yours. Talon Green is who I have at three.
Love it.
He's leading in. Gosh, he's leading in basically everything. I think he's currently the leader in passing touchdowns, leader in rushing yards, leading in yards per attempt, leading in rushing touchdowns. Like he's just been like the
Oh man.
entirety of the Arkansas offense, all of it.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what he is. Yeah.
that's what he is. So it's tough for a team that probably is going to have a losing record to have a Heisman candidate. But as much as a team deserves that, or a player deserves that, I guess more than a team deserves it. It's Taylor Green right now for me.
It's supposed to be a player's trophy, right? Not a team one. Not Devy, but Delane deserves consideration. But Tulane deserves consideration, or Delane who? But no, Taylor Green absolutely phenomenal. I've said it over and over. People were on the same boat as me what I talked about before the season started. But Taylor Green, like you said, the strength is there as far as the arm and the throw. I do want to see him polish up his accuracy just a little bit more, but he definitely has everything you need in a quarterback, and he has that size. He's like 6'5" or so that he can go out there and make that big play happen there as well. So absolutely love it. I'm not mad at him. And there, if we would have done our top 10, he's definitely in there for me. For my number three, I had to go with Marcel Reed out of A&M. This is a guy that it really last week's game really did for me against Notre Dame, where he took the team down. I think it was like 75 yards for the play to his tight end there and made a beautiful throw. Tight end was able to go up there and snag it. This is something where I think this is Manziel reincarnated in a sense. I don't know what Marcel Reed will have as far as the NFL talent level goes, just because he is slightly on the smaller side. But as a college quarterback, he is a nice one. He is connecting with his wide receivers. He is making plays with his feet. He is leading his team. A&M, in my opinion, they're 3-0. Texas is 2-1. Texas is ranked number 8 in the AP polls. A&M is ranked number 10. I'm gonna say this right now. Right now, Texas A&M is the best team in Texas when it comes to SEC teams, and they need to be ranked ahead of Texas. Like, stop with this bias of Arch, all this kind of stuff. They need to be ranked ahead of Texas. I get Texas lost to Ohio State. That's their loss. They're not looking good in their wins. A&M is looking good in their wins. And guess what? A reason is because Marcel Reed is able to make plays and do some big things that we haven't been able to see Arch do. So Marcel Reed right now is my number three. Who's your number four, though?
So I fully agree on Texas A&M and A&M also. But my number four is Missouri quarterback Bo Pribula.
Love it.
He's been everything Missouri wanted and more. They were 3-0 off the rip. It's been, he's really taken over from day one. They haven't, again, not the toughest schedule, but statistically he's been awesome. He's been a leader. Everyone in that locker room has been talking about how he really stepped up. He embraced that competition with Sam Horn. When he won because Sam Horn got injured, he never he didn't concede the job. He was like, no, we still have a competition. He got hurt. I didn't win this.
Right.
Like that's the type of stuff that every single NFL team, like everybody loves that. But when you're
Right.
talking Heisman, having that like team mentality, having that dog, it
Mhm.
sort of separates like, yeah, you're statistically just as good as everyone, but we also want to root for you, and this is a great
Right.
story. So he's my number 4. Who do you got it for?
Yeah, I absolutely love Bo Probola, and I'm going number 5, someone on his same team and not him. But I absolutely love Bo Probola and think I know our guy JT Orange is actually excited that Bo Probola is there. They got into the top 25, number 23, 3-0 as well. So excited to see what he can do because he has shown that leadership traits there. Someone that just has a dog, and this is actually my number 4, Florida State quarterback Tommy Castellanos. This is a guy that really go back and watch the Alabama game. He said Alabama can't stop me. They don't have Nick Saban to save them. And guess what? He was 100% right. They couldn't stop him. He went into Alabama and he just destroyed them. I mean, it was actually a beautiful game to watch as far as the quarterback and what he done. We knew he was talented at Boston College. Florida State had their down year last year. I think now this is he kind of came and rejuvenated and said, "Hey, I'm a good quarterback. I'm gonna get us back into that national contention." And right now, I mean, they're leading the ACC, if I'm not mistaken. They're the Miami 3-0, number 4. I think Florida State might be the better team out of Miami, in my opinion. I mean, I know Carson Beck's there, but I'm excited to see when that game can play out and what happens. But Florida State actually looks really nice, and Tommy's there for me. And who is your number 5?
It's Tommy.
Right.
No, everything you just said. He's been one of my guys for a couple of years now. I loved him at BC. Was able to see him live a couple of times, and he's a fun watch. Last year was odd. I think again we talked. Bill O'Brien didn't know what to do. He's not having any of those issues at Florida State. He's taking off. He's running. He's throwing the ball. He's running that offense to perfection. It's been a beautiful sight to see. But you got a Mizzou teammate of my number 4 at number 5. Who you got?
Yeah, this was gonna be my spicy one because I'm pulling out the quarterbacks. I've been high. This is my Devy RB6. Ahmad Hardy has shown it up to me through 3 weeks. Again, he's going into SEC competition. 462 yards, leads the Power 4 right now, leads SEC by like 150 plus yards rushing right now. 5 touchdowns, 8.1 yards per carry. Ahmad Hardy has looked the part. He has looked like he has been their guy. 10 carries, 25 carries, 22 carries over the last 3 games here. He is someone that's going to continue to rise. I know he's going to be their lead back moving forward. Obviously, he has a tougher schedule coming up. South Carolina is coming up for him. That's going to be something big. I know they're banged up with Sellers there, but then they have University of Massachusetts. It looks like then you have Alabama, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Mississippi, Oklahoma. Look, my point is Ahmad Hardy is the guy, and if he comes out here and dominates the SEC, similar to what Quinshon Judkins would do when he was a freshman or the sophomore, we'll say sophomore because Ahmad Hardy's a sophomore. This guy is going to be someone that you better hope you get into him now before it's too late because I think he is legit. I think he's going to go out there and show it in this competition. He's going to be someone that we're going to be trading for some of these 2026 running backs for to go out there and get Ahmad Hardy because I think there is legitimate talent there as well. There's just tons of opportunity, and I absolutely love everything I'm seeing in him. It's what we saw when he was at Louisiana Monroe. Had 250 yards last week. 3 touchdowns, 250 yards. That is just remarkable. And I think he's going to continue to shine. I think he's going to be their guy and Heisman candidate when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
but
no, I don't regret trading Ryan Wingo to you, but I do regret trading Ahmad Hardy.
Yeah. I look at that trade, I laugh, like the evil laugh, but then I also laugh at myself with the evil laugh with, having Ryan Wingo in it too, because that hurts. That hurts. But those are our Heisman finalists. So I'll say mine, Spencer, then I'll let you say yours. My top 5 are Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, Oregon quarterback Dante Moore, Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed, Florida State quarterback Tommy Castellanos, and Missouri running back Ahmad Hardy. Who are your top 5?
My top 5 are Dante Moore, Oregon quarterback, John Mateer, Oklahoma quarterback, Talon Green, Arkansas quarterback, Bo Pribula, Missouri quarterback, and Tommy Castellanos, Florida State quarterback. So a little bit of a quarterback theme here.
There you go. Easier to get the quarterbacks. I definitely get it. And, if we did top 10, I think we could bring in some more position players. Surprisingly, you don't have Jeremiah Smith in there. I feel before the season, we're like, oh, yeah, he's going to do it. And it just hasn't happened.
No. Honestly, if I was going to pick a wide receiver who's in here, it's Mario Craver, Marcel Reed's guy. He's been, we haven't talked about him necessarily, but, I'm sure people are wondering.
Yeah.
He'd be number 6 for me. If it wasn't a quarterback award, he'd be number 1. He's been
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something you need to watch out for as well. A&M just in general is fun to watch this season, 100%. Yeah. Now, before we let you go, as you know, we're giving each other homework on what we want to watch this next week in college football. So, Spencer, I'm going to give you one here. I'm going to give you Illinois number 9 versus Indiana number 19. And I want you to let me know who is the better Devy quarterback, in Illinois' Luke Altmaier or Indiana's Fernando Mendoza? Fernando Mendoza, I know, is one of your guys you said we need to watch out for. Had a great game this past week, 5 touchdowns, blew out the team 72-0. And then is Caden Fegan an RB prospect to have on your boards? Indiana kind of runs a 3-headed monster. Who do you prefer? Is it Kalen Black? Do you like Lee Beek Jr. or Roman Himby? I was a big Roman Himby guy, so that's why I want that. Or is it the future freshman running back there in Kobe Martin that we need to have an eye on? So which quarterback do you prefer? Caden Fegan being the prospect, and does Indiana really have a Devy prospect at running back there as well? What's your homework for me?
Yeah, that'll be a fun watch. Mine is a little – I got a deep cut for you. We got Tulane versus Ole Miss. Okay. So this is really – Austin Simmons should be playing this week. He got a little bit in. So is he that polished, cerebral guy that, we kind of talked about him coming in as a redshirt freshman this year, or does he still need time to adjust to play, get ready? Is he there or is he not yet?
Right.
And then his weapon, Harrison Wallace, is I think leading the SEC in receiving yards right now. I know you got Tom Harvey over there. He, your Devy DGen's co-host. I really liked him coming to the year. That's a great call. But is he a Devy asset or is he just a college receiver? And then are any of Dijon's dribbling and Caden Lee, are they worth our time in that room as well?
I'd say from a C2C perspective, not so much.
Yeah, not really. But then, the running back Q1 Lacey, I want you to keep an eye on him too, because he's been awesome.
Yeah.
And how high should he fly? And then Tulane, there's not much there, but Jake Retzlaff has been awesome to start the year. Is that just a college guy who's running the ball, or is he still a Devy asset after that transfer from BYU?
I wish he would have transferred to a Power 4 and not Tulane, because I think he could have been great. You said Harrison Wallace leading the SEC. He is third. Your boy Mario Craver is number 1. And then you have Chris Brazel, but Chris Brazel just had a huge game this past week as well.
Huge game bumped him up, yeah.
Yeah, but he is third there with 339 yards there. He actually leads in yards per catch there in 22.6. So Wallace is still I've had my on because Tom Harvey has mentioned it. But no, I'm excited to watch that game. You said a deep cut there. I mean, I absolutely love watching, your Tulanes, your UTSA, all those type of games, because you see some good football in there as well. And then you can find those deep cut finds, right? That's what Devy's all about, right? Finding those next guys up that people aren't necessarily watching on your big national networks, right? Who are these guys that you can actually find as well? So week 4 is upon us. Don't forget, every Saturday morning we are live, an hour before kickoff, to talk about the top 25 matchups. Myself, Spencer, a special guest here and there, is always joining us. So make sure you are joining it. For the Devy Planet, for the guys at the FFU, our guy Jeremy with Adjusted Ranks, our Dynasty Dogs, Mike and Rich, Jesse, who's doing our Start Sit shows on Sunday, which is hour and a half, 90 minutes before kickoff, to answer all your Sunday questions before kickoff there for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate everyone joining in and being here to help us out. Until next time, where we talk about more Devy prospects, I am SC Romero at the Devy Planet with my co-host Spencer at Buckwild Sports. We will see y'all later. Peace.
See you.
FFU.